Picture this: two guys talking about true crime,
Weird mysteries.
horror stories,
But the conversation is light.
and mostly funny.
and sometimes naughty.
This is Scriptsalog.
A Spotify exclusive.
I'm Gideon.
And I'm Glenn, and we're serving huge portions of horror and true crime twice a week.
We'll make sure your cravings are satisfied.
And you'll be begging for more.
Char.
Check us out.
This is Scriptsalog, available exclusively on Spotify.
If you like this episode, please rate the podcast 5 stars, 6 and take your dome. This podcast is a member of Bunk Collective.
You make my heart sing. You make everything groovy. Come on, wild thing.
Welcome to your unfiltered Tagalog Wrestling Podcast. And this is the MTV Show Podcast, a wrestling podcast. Okay, let's start the pod now. So, good good evening. Welcome to the show. At least nag-intro na ako na may ikli. So, welcome to the podcast. It's gonna be a long, long episode. I swear to God. We are tackling everything what happened for the past 7 days. And ang mahaba-habang usapan. So, first thing, I want to give a shout out to Slick Master of This Drunken Midnights for inviting yours truly for yet another podcast, and also is part of Monk Collective. We did a podcast review of the Royal Rumble. So yun, if you want to check that out, you can check that out first kasi I have to burst something more here on this broadcast today. So ito, sinabi ko din on Twitter last week that we are going to break a regular programming thought or coverage here because of few things. Number one, we're going to talk about the takeover or Vengeance Day this Sunday. Not only the Royal Rumble, and we're breaking the programming promises here on the podcast. So, yeah, wala si Derb today. Supposedly, plano ko rin siya i-invite. Pero I decided to revise everything, and I revised some thoughts and changes just para lang mag-akma doon sa ating podcast. Okay? Napindot nata ako. Wala naman. Yeah? Oh, fuck. Ha, fuck you. Akala ko, may treble ako napindot. Napakatanga ko naman. Anyways, yeah. So that's our kickoff, basically. Welcome to the podcast. And naglalaro lang ako sa sarili kong boses. Sa totoo lang. Ayun, napag-usapan namin on Slick's podcast. Basically, yung Royal Rumble as a pay-per-view, as a premium live event, kung ano man yung gusto nyong itawag dyan. We talked about it. You can check that out on your favorite podcast platforms. And also, don't forget, he's also part of our Bunk Collective. So, I want to give a shout out to all of our Bunk Collective high-ups in Yuki, in Bern, BP, and the rest of the Bunk Collective VPs and EBPs. Yeah. So, give them a shout out. Also, giving a shout out to our patron, si Sino nga ito? Si Razor or Rider OZ for still staying with us on the Patreon. I hope you all can support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/the MTG Show Podcast. Alright, let's start the regular programming now with the Royal Rumble. Sinabi ko naman sa aking preview doon sa Patreon review, which is by the way still unlocked. Pero asahan nyo na naka-unlock na yun. Naka-lock na yun in days. Probably today, naka-lock na yun. So, this is hard, okay? Eto, sabihin na natin na i-rumble na natin yung thoughts natin about the Men's Royal Rumble. Number one, the Men's Royal Rumble this year is kinda mid to pa-okay siya. Pa-okay, mid, pa-okay, paakyat kahit papaano. But I'm not going to say it's bad, no? Hindi ko siya sasabihing masama. Kasi mayroon akong nagustuhan naman. Kahit papaano, may spots naman ako nagustuhan on the Men's Rumble, like the Brock thing, on the being eliminated by Lashley, and then yung face-off nila ni Gunter, gusto ko na mangyari at some point. And marami pang iba na gusto kong mangyari. And dapat nga mangyari at some point, di ba? Pero, going back, eto pa. Marami pa tayong bits about the Men's Royal Rumble, especially with Cody Rhodes entering at number 30. Marami akong thoughts about that. But sinabi ko na yun sa This Drunken, so I'm going to repeat that. Hindi ako fan ng Cody entering number 30. I don't like the idea. Parang ginawa niyo lang din yung ginawa kay Cena years ago. Parang ganun lang din yung ginawa nila dito, but with some obvious advertisements to promote him more, 'di ba? Pero I don't mind that. Hindi ko naman inaano yun. Pero ang point ko kasi dito, sometimes predictability is the best choice for the Royal Rumble. Like for example, last year's Royal Rumble, we didn't expect that Ronda Rousey will win the Rumble. Ako, hindi ko in-expect Ronda Rousey will win the Women's Royal Rumble. And yung men's, well, it's already given. Pero like what I said, predictability sometimes is working on the system. And yung predictability na yun can save them or maybe can kill them. That's what's the difference. Okay? But hindi tayo masyado magpipisil-pisil dito. But marami akong gustong asahan. Like number one, I want Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins WrestleMania, man. Please give it to us. Like, holy fucking shit. Logan Paul just showed us don't trust the others. Or maybe, man, Logan Paul is just so fucking good. Unfortunately to us, here in the Philippines, our coverage on Disney Plus is kind of fucked up. Mamaya, pag-usapan natin yun sa huli. No? Marami tayong complaints about that on Disney Plus. But I saved a couple of minutes about that later on. Then, ano pa? Yung Men's Rumble pa din. Medyo, like what I said, Gunter impressed me on this year's Rumble. Okay? Sabihin natin yun. Sinabi ko na nga yun sa review eh. Si Gunter, definitely may MVP on the Men's Royal Rumble. Don't ask me why. Because Gunter is fucking Gunter, man. 1 hour and 11 something minutes. Doon siya tumagal sa buong Royal Rumble na yon. And he's still fucking functioning even though he's being eliminated by Cody. Like, the whole thing about Cody is very given. Very obvious at this point. But let's say for at least Cody Rhodes is the winner, but Gunter is my MVP for the whole Royal Rumble. And I'm not complaining about that. Like what I said, gusto ko pisilin to ng pisilin. Sometimes predictability works. Or sometimes the predictability is the best choice when it comes to everything. When it comes to wrestling in general, predictability always works. Okay? So, let's see what's going to happen in couple of weeks. Mamaya pag-usapan natin yung mga plots, subplots about this bloodline storyline and kung anong magiging role ni Cody Rhodes come WrestleMania or maybe come on this road to WrestleMania. Kasi medyo naghahati-hati pa yung road to WrestleMania ni Cody, no? Then, sige, pag-usapan natin yung Women's Royal Rumble naman. So, in the other hand, Women's Royal Rumble is that exciting? Or yung excitement ko for the men's napunta dito? Kasi on paper, it's very unpredictable. But it's very obvious at this point that Rhea Ripley will win the Women's Royal Rumble. Don't get me wrong, I predicted Rhea. It's very obvious at this point. But you have to give Liv Morgan her flowers. No? Liv Morgan performed really, really well. At some point, I want her to become women's champion at some point. Like, on the upcoming Elimination Chamber, I would love to see Liv Morgan winning the Chamber thing. I would love to see Liv Morgan winning the whole damn thing. And that's good for business. I'm not going to say it's best for business, but it's good for business. It's different, right? Okay, continue tayo. Let's go back to Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley won the Royal Rumble from number 1, which is very opposite on Cody's Royal Rumble road. He he entered number 30 and Rhea entered number 1. Wala akong issue doon. Okay? Linawin natin. Baka may magsali-sali na naman dyan. Wala akong issue kay Cody winning number 30. Ang issue ko is the choice. Mamaya pag-usapan natin yan. Ha? Ito medyo tricky yung ginawa ni Rhea Ripley dito. But I love Rhea Ripley being tricky at some point. But yeah, it makes sense to me why she picked Charlotte Flair for the title at WrestleMania. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. The match is fun. Ito, marami tayo notable stuff about the Women's Royal Rumble. So, Chelsea Green is now the shortest elimination in a Royal Rumble with 5 seconds. And on Raw, she's acting like a fucking Karen. But it works. Chelsea, I mean, ito I will give it a slide for now. Kasi the story is executing really well. No? Yung Karen na to ni Chelsea, bibigyan ko to ng slide for now. But because it works. No? Then, Nia Jax is your final entrant for this year's Royal Rumble. And I would say, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Bakit? Eto para malinaw, hindi ako nag-expect kay Naomi or Mercedes o kaya kay Kyrie. Hindi ako nag-expect. Mahirap mag-expect. Naka-bare minimum ako on this year's Royal Rumble. But that bare minimum lead us to something better. So, ito ulitin ko for the 5th time here on today's podcast. Itong parehas na Royal Rumbles na ito, this is fun. And I would say that both winners mananalo ng titles parehas, no? I'm sure about this. And then, ang malaking assurance ko dito is yung magiging payoff nito between Cody and Rhea, yung magiging payoff ng mga stories nila. That will be great. Not only for the bloodline story, kundi para sa lahat, di ba? Kay Roman, kay Charlotte, and magiging kay Bianca din. Kasi she will determine her number 1 contender at easy in couple of weeks time. So, let's go to the other cards no, ng Royal Rumble. Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's title. The match lasted less than 7 minutes. And yeah, that was underwhelming. I'm saying this on record because that was underwhelming. I'm being honest here kasi that thing was underwhelming. Yes, nag-wordplay ako, but the whole thing is underwhelming. And it sucks. Yeah, ito para lang malinaw kung ba't ko sinasabing underwhelming at ba't ko pa wino-wordplay salitang underwhelming is because wala, underwhelming lang talaga yung story. Okay, ito para maging patas ako. Kasi itong match na 'to, featuring Bianca and Alexa, it's basically the revival of the Alexa Bliss on the past. Na akalalang-alala nyo na nag-Black Alexa nga ito eh. At some point, baka nga bumalik yun eh. Diba? Yan lang naman ang reasons why they booked this for the Royal Rumble in a pay-per-view match like this. And it's not a bad idea, I guess. Hindi siya bad idea. However, if kung sasabihin nyo naman na okay, sabihin na naman natin na masama naman yung booking nito eh. Eto, and the pitch black match, mamaya pag-usapan natin to. Tsaka yung connection nito sa mga sponsor. Yung itong match na to ni Alexa, it's not really bad. It's just underwhelming na umaabot sa punto na dapat dinalan to nilagay dito eh. Sana eh, dinalan to nangyari. At least Charlotte versus Sonya, the Royal Rumble would be fun rather than this. At least andun tayo sa point na they're booking random matches just for the sake of putting 5 matches on the whole card. Same with the other matches on some other events here. But however, this match is just a bare minimum. This match between Alexa and Bianca is just underwhelming. But like what I said on my Patreon review, buti na lang nasalba to nung ending. Kasi diba, nag-introduce na ulit si Alexa on her bad side. Yeah, I'm glad to see that too. But hanggang doon na lang yun. Right? Hanggang doon na lang yun. Kasi I have low expectations on what's going to happen in this. Ang clear lang sa akin is Bianca will retain the title. And she did. Okay, let's continue now with the pitch black match. Okay. So, yeah, I love how that match worked out for both Bray and LA Knight. And how they promoted it really well thanks to Mountain Dew. However, ito meron lang akong isang bagay na dapat questionin dito. I know people question this for weeks now. Is Bray Wyatt's new character are more on sponsorships? Or maybe his new superpower is introducing sponsors to his matches? Eh, yan na yun. Pipikot ko na yun for the last few weeks. And it sounds stupid on a supernatural character. Diba? Ito hindi ko pipisilin yung Mountain Dew or hindi ko pipisilin kung sino-sino mga sponsor dyan sa buong Royal Rumble na ito. But, it doesn't make sense. Bray Wyatt is a fucking supernatural character and he doesn't deserve a booking like that. Na, yeah, I know this is just for the promotion, but on the way they execute the whole damn thing, it doesn't make sense. Parang, yeah, it's basically a fight between LA Knight and Bray Wyatt, but putting sponsors on everything, yeah, I will say this again, putting sponsors on everything doesn't make sense. Okay. So, alam ko i-debunk niyo ako dito na baka sabihin niyo na naman i-defend na naman natin yung sponsors. Ito, magiging patas ako. Hindi lahat ng stuff on wrestling should be labeled with sponsors. Hindi lahat dapat nililabel. Diba? Lalo na yung mga ganitong storylines, yung mga ganitong alam natin na may recurring stories, hindi dapat to nilalagyan ng sponsors eh. Minsan kasi, yung mga sponsors na yan, yun na magro-ruin sa isang storyline. Diba? Kung ito, kung ito ang Pitch Black, na-ruin na ng sponsored or sponsors, paano pa yung mga susunod? Siyempre. Ano susunod nyo? Maglalagay tayo ng jewelry kay Bray Wyatt just to be marketed. To be fair, hindi ko huhusgahan yung company. Hindi ko masisisi because at the end of the day, it's their idea to put a silly idea on this match. The match, however, the match is okay lang. Okay lang to me, not special. It's basically a Bray Wyatt beatdown and na-deliver naman yung purpose. Yeah, they marketed Pitch Black of Mountain Dew. I wish Pitch Black Mountain Dew is here in the Philippines as well. Ano kaya lasa? Personally, gusto ko din i-imagine how Mountain Dew Pitch Black goes. And gusto ko na matikman yung Pitch Black. Ewan ko lang. It's just me. It's just me. Come on. Pigilan mo yung gutom mo. Good. Okay. So, ano pa ba? Isa na lang match yung di natin napipisel. It's the main event. And I have a lot of thoughts about this. Okay? So, before that, let's talk about the sponsors and everything. No? So, Hardy performed at the Royal Rumble before the main event. So, here's the reason why this match elapsed for 4 hours and 17 minutes. His whole pay-per-view elapsed for 4 minutes and 17 seconds. Fuck! I said the wrong figures, man. I said the wrong figures. Hardy, one of the reasons why this Premium Live event elapsed for 4 hours and 17 minutes. I said it correctly. My bad about that. But, yeah. Alam nyo, yung performance na to, sobrang lang niya. Ito ba yung pinagpapalit nyo kay The Weeknd? For fuck's sake, we need The Weeknd this time on the WrestleMania. We need The Weeknd now for WrestleMania. Given naman na yung bayad. It's very given. But, come on. Come on, man. We need Abel at least once in a WrestleMania. At least, yun lang isang beses lang. Pakita niyo lang siya sa TV. Acknowledge niyo lang. Or maybe, better, live performance ulit. Talaga si Hardy nga nakukuha nyo eh. Bad Bunny nga nakapag-perform. Nag-perform pa ulit in a ring. Diba? Okay, so, debunk natin yung mga Mountain Dew na yan. Mountain Dew works. Yeah. Sponsorship, given naman yan eh. Applebee's kasi, wag nyong, itong mga sponsor na ito, wag yung i-connect agad sa isang country. For example, Philippines. Hindi lahat ng lugar may Applebee's. It doesn't mean na sponsor na siya. Worldwide na ang coverage nun. No, it doesn't work like that. Parang kagaya lang sa Prime. Prime ni Logan Paul and sino naman yung Jabroni na kasama niya doon. Hindi lahat ng sponsors naglilin sa isang country. Hindi lahat yun para sa isang country lang. Official sports drink siya ng UFC. But it doesn't meant na sponsor siya sa buong mundo. Kung ito nga, hindi nga lang siya, sinasilent mention nga lang siya na sponsor siya sa US. Pero but ang layo ko na. Going on. Ang concern ko lang naman dito is how Disney Plus broadcasted this event. Mamaya pag-usapan nga natin to. Baba. Go. Let's go to the main event. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Ah, alam nyo, this main event, eto, slide na natin yung main event match. The match was great. Kung ako tatanungin nyo kung paano ko i-rank everything, I would say the 2017 was fun, the 2021 was disastrous, and the 2023 was sakto lang. Sakto lang. I would say sakto lang. Roman Reigns retaining the title is very given at this point. Kaya nga, hindi na nga dapat natin siya bigyan ng judgment match-wise. Bigay na lang natin yung praise sa ending, sa kung ano yung nangyari sa ending. So, on the end of the Rumble, so, the Bloodline except for Sami Zayn and Jey Uso beating down the living hell of Kevin Owens. And then, after of that beatdown, they zip-tied Kevin Owens to the ropes, giving him bunch of super kicks. And then, si Roman asking Sami Zayn to hit KO with a steel chair in the head. But si Sami Zayn declined and he was asking na tama na, wag mo nang i-hit si KO because ano siya sabit na siya dun naka-fuck up na siya dun. In this case, pagkatapos nun, Roman is pissed on Sami, right? Roman is pissed on Sami. And then, parang, shinob niya si Sami at the point na, parang, ayaw niya na kay Sami Zayn. Umay na siya kay Sami Zayn at the point like that. And then, Sami fucking hit Roman Reigns with a steel chair to the back. Just like the old times, you know what I mean? And then, everyone was shocked. Even KO was shocked. Then, Jimmy Uso didn't like what happened. Hit Sami with a super kick. Solo Sikoa hit Sami Zayn with the Samoan spike. Then, Jey Uso is not moving. Jey Uso is not moving at all. Then, here comes the plot twist now. So, the Bloodline except Jey Uso beating the living hell of Sami Zayn. They ripped the t-shirt of Sami Zayn, which is great. At least, na-justify na yung pag-alis niya sa Bloodline. And then, Jey Uso walked out of the ring. And yeah, he tweeted a lot of times na I'm out. And yeah, ano yun, it's very interesting yung mga tweets niya, posts niya in the past few weeks na he's quitting out of the Bloodline. At least for now. And then we ended the show, both KO and Sami laying down in the canvas, and the show is done. Yeah, that is the main event of this year's Royal Rumble. Kung may mali ako sa kwento ko, yeah, correct nyo na lang ako. Okay, my thoughts on this is ang haba ng thoughts ko dito eh. They pulled the fucking trigger. Man, they pulled the fucking trigger. Finally, they pulled the fucking trigger. Sami Zayn is no longer the honorary Uso. Instead, he left Bloodline, and now, most likely, he will go for the undisputed title at the Elimination Chamber, and then, eventually, patungo tayo sa tag titles for WrestleMania. Okay. Sabi ko, i-off out ko yung sarili ko on giving thoughts on KO and Sami Zayn on this Bloodline shit. But hindi ko na i-off yung sarili ko right now. Okay? So, I'm going to give small thoughts on this. The story of this is not all about, hindi lang siya tungkol sa pag-join ni Sami Zayn sa Bloodline. it's not only that. The story here is Sami trapping the bloodline, or maybe andun tayo sa point na pinagtitripan niya yung bloodline. And aabot tayo doon sa point na WrestleMania is upon us, and Sami and KO would eventually win the tag titles. And parang nga malinaw tayo. Guys, come on. Stop being, wag kayong umakto na mga boss masyado. Ano? Yung mga gusto nyo, yung mga dream matches nyo, yung nangyayari eh. Yung mga kala nyo, mga boss masyado eh. No? Kung hindi pabor sa inyo, wag kayong masyadong ano, wag kayong masyadong ignorante, no? Wag kayong masyadong bobo. Eh na nga, magsalita na nga ako ng vulgar. Ayan, wag kayong masyadong bobo kasi all of us are just following what the flow goes. Like nga sinabi nga ni Sami Zayn na just follow the fucking flow. And we're good with that. And I would love to see what's the future of that. And the fate of that. Everything is not easy. No? Hindi mangyayari ang isang execution ng isang beses lang. Hindi yun madali ah. Yung ito, alam naman natin that this Sami Roman story, mangyayari yung climax nito sa Elimination Chamber in front of Sami's hometown. Eto, meron na akong ilang katanungan. Dapat ipisil ko na 3 weeks before the Elimination Chamber. Number 1, dapat ba itong match na to at the Elimination Chamber should be a one title match? The answer, no. Personally, no. Again, this is my opinion. So, everyone, you should respect my opinion for that. Okay. So, dapat ba na isang title lang yung paglabanan ni Roman tsaka ni Cody? Maybe yes. Yun ang sagot ko. Maybe yes. For now. Kasi, ewan ko, parang umaabot tayo do sa point na dapat split na lang din yung undisputed world titles, yung Universal at saka yung WWE titles. Umaabot din tayo sa point na, sige, I will let this thing slide out for now. Kasi medyo, maalingasaw na yung problema sa bloodline. Dapat i-execute na rin ni Adam Pearce kung ano dapat yun gagawin sa world titles para isa na lang yung magiging problema niya. Diba? Down the line, we know that Cody will beat Roman Reigns either 1 belt or 2 belts. But with the point of Sami beating Roman Reigns on any world title, guys, stop lying to yourselves. Just watch the whole damn thing. Everyone should understand na Sami Zayn is not the main guy here. He is not the main focus of his whole damn thing. Hindi siya yung focus dito. He is just a plot device. Yes, he is giving push. Okay? Push niya to. Okay? But, hindi siya ang main focus. So, bakit natin pagpopokusan si Sami being the world champion rather than dapat nga mag-focus tayo on Cody being the world champion. Si Sami kasi, it's very obvious na ang nakaplano sa kanya, it's for the tag titles. 1 or 2 belts, regardless on that. Pero, kung ibibigay nga nila kay Sami yung isang world title, magwawala ako, legit. Hindi ako magko-complain doon. Kasi they pulled the other way eh. They pulled the plans in the other way that people are expecting, or maybe people who expecting everything about this. Pero ako, I rest my case for now. Sabihin ko lang, Cody will win the titles at WrestleMania, not Sami Zayn. If may ipapanalo si Sami Zayn, it's the tag titles at some point. For the easy thing, kung mau-official ito by SmackDown, I don't think Sammy will win both. I don't think the story will end with Sammy winning the both titles. Let's face it, man. Come on. We're adults now. Let's understand what's right and what's wrong for business. And yung mga tao dyan na kala mo mga entitled masyado sa opinion, tama-tama na nga yung mga pinagsasabi nyo. Just fuck off, man. Come on. Come on, man. You guys are just wasting your shit. Huwag niyo pagpilitan yung isang bagay na malabong mangyari. Parang pag-ibig lang yan. Kung ayaw sa'yo, huwag mo ipilit doon. Ganun lang yun. Kung ayaw sa'yo, huwag mo ipilit. Huwag mo ipilit ng isang bagay na hindi mangyayari sa'yo. Lalo kang masasaktan. The more na pinagpipilitan mo. Di ba? Ganun lang yun. Same with this bloodline storyline. If magpipoke, if magpopoke ka ng isang bagay na hindi mangyayari at nasaktan ka, di ba masasaktan ka din? Di ba ang tanga mo dun? Okay, continue tayo with the thoughts on the Rumble pa. So, it's so nice to see Chelsea Green back. Nice to see Roxanne Perez back on the TV at least. India Hartwell made her main roster debut. So is Stark as well. Then, Piper Niven is back as well. Nia Jax, okay. We got the wrong Samoan. Yung review ratings ko is on the Patreon. Yeah, it's very subjective. But, yeah, it depends on our taste buds, no? But, yeah, this year's Royal Rumble was fun. On the other hand, Disney Plus loves to ruin the fun. In the other hand. Okay, let's explain the whole thing why we're dissing Disney Plus on Twitter. I am dissing Disney Plus whole thing. Number one, observe nga natin, yung mga nangyari sa Disney Plus noong War Games, di pa rin nila nare-resolve yung mga major problems about it. Hindi pa rin nila nare-resolve. It's very given to me na delay yung replay. Yeah, given na siya sa akin. Pero yung paglalagay nila ng harang on the whole fucking screen during the men's and women's Royal Rumble plus the ano ba ito? Yung pitch black match is it's very weird, no? It's very stupid. Tapos dagdagan pa natin para tayong nanonood ng feed sa isang website, Watch Wrestling. Parang mas okay pa yung napapanood natin sa Watch Wrestling. I swear to God. I'm being honest here. Parang mas okay pa yung napapanood natin sa Watch Wrestling kaysa sa mga napapanood natin on Disney Plus. This is the second premium live event and the first premium live event in 2 months. And still, Disney Plus is acting like a bare minimum. And they're thinking that this thing is not big for us wrestling fans. I hope Disney Plus will resolve this. I hope na maayos na din yung problema sa Tagalog commentary because I'm missing the Tagalog commentary already. Hello Stan, hello Carlo. I'm missing the Tagalog commentary on the WWE network. They're commentating, yes, still on the network. However, the thing is only available on the WWE network. The weird part of this is Disney Plus is not distributing the WWE network feed too. No? Also, yung Tagalog commentary, ang weird. Alam nyo, ang weird. Kasi yung literal na market ng Tagalog commentary, walang Tagalog commentary. Sobrang bare minimum masyado yung binigay sa atin ni Disney Plus. Sana maayos pa siya. Kasi worth it na siya for $159. You can watch Disney Plus. You can watch Disney Plus plus the WWE things. Worth it na yun on paper. Or $369 for premium. Worth it na yun sa totoo lang. Pero to see this bad things about Disney Plus. It's still bad if you're asking me. I hope Disney Plus would improve their distribution of the WWE feed in the Philippines. Sana lang din dumagdag na 'to. Maayos na yung pagka-cut nila ng commercials kasi sobrang sobrang bantot ng pagde-deliver nila ng feed. Minsan umaabot na lang sa point, on the Royal Rumble nga wala nga tayo nakuhang yung WrestleMania countdown. Di ko alam kung bakit. Hindi rin natin alam kung bakit wala rin tayong hindi rin napuputol on time yung commercials. Kahit man lang yung WWE na commercials, ipakita nyo yan dyan. Mas okay yun eh. Kasi may may sense yun eh. Disney Plus commercials, papakita nyo, Super Junior pa ulit-ulit. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, we know that it's a platform, Disney Plus platform. But can we please show the WWE ads too? Or maybe the Disney Plus thing too na pinapalabas niyo sa network. Yung pinapalabas sa network dati. Can we please show that to the Disney Plus feed? Okay na nga sa akin na mura eh. Pero hindi natin kailangan hindi natin kailangan magkupal on that, 'di ba? Yung binibigay sa atin na coverage is very bare minimum. Parang umaabot na sa point na mas okay pa mag-pirate kaysa sa mismong gumamit ng platform. I know, hindi naman 'to maririnig ng lahat, pero I would say this, guys. Kung gusto niyo mag-improve si Disney Plus, bulabugin natin si Disney Plus. Kasi hindi yan makikinig sa mga complaints natin hangga't hindi tayo nagko-complain sama-sama. Tama. Kasi hindi sila mag-i-improve ng mag magra-rant lang tayo dito ta's wala na. Wala na, parang dumaan lang sa kanila yung complaint. And it's plain stupid as fuck kung iisipin niyo na ganito na lang yung magiging way para manood ng programming. Like, we don't deserve this treatment. Kung sa Indonesia nga, putya, may bahasa na nga sila eh. Second premium live event pa lang nila. On the Disney Plus Hotstar, may bahasa na sila. First pa nga lang, Royal Rumble na nga lang, meron na silang bahasa eh. So, nasaan ang problema doon? Nasaan ang problema ng coverage na to? Is this on the Disney Plus side of things or maybe the problem is on the WWE? I don't think the problem is on WWE because they're just distributing the whole damn thing quick and good on Disney Plus. And mas maayos pa sa illegal kaysa dun sa Disney Plus mismo. Seriously, Disney Plus needs to fix the whole damn thing. Like what I said on War Games, lalo na yung frame rate ng buong shows. Okay naman yung iba eh. Yung hindi okay lang is War Games at saka yung Royal Rumble. Kung magrereklamo kayo na nagko-complain kami dito sa programming, men, nagbabayad tayo dito. Tama lang na mag-complain tayo. We need improvements para gumanda yung product. And we need complaints para makinig din sila sa atin kung ano yung maling ginagawa nila. Hindi tama na hayaan lang natin sila na inormalize yung ganun. Para lang tayong nagno-normalize ng presidenteng tanga as dinedepensahan pa natin. Tama? Para lang tayo nagno-normalize ng isang presidenteng pulpol tapos susuportahan pa natin todo fist bump at peace pa tayo. 'Di ba? It's simple. If may mali, report natin. Sabihin natin yung concerns natin. 'Di ba? Hindi tama na ipagsawalang bahala na lang natin yung mga maling bagay na nakikita natin. And hindi rin tama na mag-conclude na agad tayo sa isang bagay na alam nating mali, no? And hindi rin tama na depensahan mo ng mali yung mga napapanood mo, 'di ba? Ayun, ito lang gusto kong sabihin. Manood ka muna bago ka mag-judge. bago ka magsalita ng opinion mo, isipin mo muna, sabihin mo kung ito ba ay umaakma sa business o kung sumasablay ba sa business. Think before you speak or before you type. Kung keyboard warrior ka, mag-isip ka muna bago ka magsabi ng kung ano-ano, ng nonsense. Pag-isipan mo muna bago ka mamula o ng kahit sino. Bago ka mamula. Okay? That's my Royal Rumble review. By the way, the whole review of this Premium Live event is available on the Patreon. You can join our Patreon. You can join our discussions over on Discord. And you can join our stuff on Discord. Please support the show on Patreon at Gank. Patreon.com/the MTG Show Pod. And on ganknow.com/the MTG Show Pod. Okay. That was a long Royal Rumble review. In-include na natin yung thoughts natin sa Disney Plus na sobrang di pa rin nag-i-improve. Na we will go to our first commercial break on this broadcast. We will take a short break. When we come back, pag-usapan natin yung post-pro para mas maganda, mas maintindihan nyo ng mabuti yung Cody Mania. No? Usapan natin yung Raw, fallout ng Raw, yung update sa tournament, SmackDown tournament. Pag-usapan din natin yung ating Dynamite bago tayo mag-NXT on the third half of the podcast. But for now, let's check our bunkmates here on Bunk Collective.
Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
I can't. I'm sick.
Weh, yung tataa.
Boo, you whore. Lockdown pa rin.
Huh? 2021 na.
So, anong gagawin natin?
Di, magstay na lang sa house at makinig sa Astrology, the podcast. With new episodes every Tuesday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
Hey everyone, this is Mo Twister, and you're listening to the Kingdom Podcast with the voice DJ Yuki.
That was the OG, Mo Twister, promoting this podcast. If you like Korean pop culture, or know someone who does, then get into it, and visit our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages at the Kingdom Pod PH.
We're proud to tell you that this is one of the premier shows to go to for your weekly dose of K-pop. So drop everything and listen to The Kingdom Podcast. Available in all your podcast streaming platforms.
Join us!
Yan. Dito tayo sa second part ng podcast. Let's go to Raw now. So, Raw, we have 2 Elimination Chamber announcements. Number 1, the EC will be the battlefield for the United States title. So it's Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, Gargano, Bronson Reed, and the winners of the matches between Montez Ford and Elias, tapos Angelo Dawkins and Damian Priest. On the women's side, with the winner will face Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania. It's Raquel Rodriguez, Nikki ASH or Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan, Asuka, Candice LeRae, the winner of Candice LeRae, Mia Yim, Carmella, and Piper Niven. And a TBD. Most likely it's Nia Jax. So, let's talk about this first. Alam nyo, may take ako dito. Sinabi ko to sa Patreon ko. And our patrons agreed on this. Na parang mas maganda na yung SmackDown, yung IC title, yung ilagay nila inside Elimination Chamber. It would enhance Gunter's record more as the Intercontinental Champion. Mas maganda siya na evaluate inside the EC. I'm not going to say na masamang bagay na ilagay si Theory inside EC. Mas mag-enhance kasi siya doon sa EC na yun. Pero, mas maganda sana siya. Diba, nagpakita siya ng record inside the EC. Then, Gunter putting his title inside the Elimination Chamber would solidify him as their top champion over on SmackDown. Aside from the undisputed titles. Mas maganda sana kung ganun. No? Then, ang dream participants ko for that is gonna be Gunter, Braun Strowman, Ricochet, McIntyre, Sheamus, or maybe Karrion Kross or Madcap. Okay sa akin yun. As long as they can execute the story really well, they can execute the whole structure if you ask me. Pero okay naman siya sa akin. Okay naman sa akin on paper itong ginawa nila na Elimination Chamber. Basically for Raw. Basically for Raw, yes, kasi yung SmackDown is na ano na, napisil na nila Cody Rhodes and Rhea Ripley. So, Cody in de facto lalabanan niya na si Roman Reigns for the undisputed titles at WrestleMania. Then, si Rhea, she chose Charlotte Flair for revenge from the 2020 WrestleMania. It makes sense to me kasi yeah, it's revenge season for Rhea Ripley. She wants to correct the mistakes that she did before on WrestleMania 36. No, she wants to correct the mistakes that she did years ago. And that's why she's doing this. Bianca and Rhea, sabihin lang natin mabilis na they're equals at this point. They're equals on their in terms of their bookings. At some point makikita naman natin maglalaban si Rhea at si Bianca. I would love to see them fight once again in the ring. I don't care it's Survivor Series, I don't care it's SummerSlam. As long as we would love to see both of them in a one-on-one match. I don't care if this is Saudi, I don't care if this is maybe a pay-per-view ulit na big, maybe Revolution, Evolution, something like that. And we need something new here at this point. Okay. So, in-announce na nga yung mga Elimination Chamber matches na ito. Medyo mababa pa yung expectation ko for now. Okay. So, Rick Boogs made his return couple of hours after of that announcements. He defeated The Miz. Yeah, he's still fine. Still that annoying guy to me. But I will give him more evaluation. So we have shakeups as well as maximum male models is now part of Raw. Yeah. MMM is now part of Raw. They're possibly scouting Otis as the newest member of MMM. Them. So the Cody Balor match was fine. That was great to me. Medyo wala ko ganong expectations about this. But yeah, that was fun main event to me. And Edge interrupting the whole thing makes sense to the point na medyo okay naman siya sa akin. Umaabot lang ako sa point na medyo nasasawa na rin ako sa story nila Balor and Edge. I hope na hindi to umabot ng Mania, but it's obvious na aabot to hanggang Mania. If ako natutunan. No? Okay. Cody Balor is fine. Let's go on to Dynamite now since huli natin yung NXT. For our NXT Vengeance Day predictions. But yun nga, Dynamite. Let's start with the Moxley Hangman. So technically, 2-1 na sila in favor of Hangman. In favor of John Moxley. So round 1, no October, Moxley knocked out Hangman. On the second match, Hangman knocked out Moxley. On the third, hindi sila satisfied on the match and Moxley getting the win. Ang gusto kong mangyari, let's set a fucking last man standing match at Evolution or Revolution. Let's set a fucking last man standing match. I would love to see that last man standing match. And that would be great for me. Okay? Then, Takeshita versus Brian Cage and Thatcher versus Brian Danielson. Both of them are bangers as hell. I would love to see the MJF versus Takeshita, no? Konosuke Takeshita. I would love to see that next week on Dynamite. Sana hindi lang one time off yung kay Thatcher. I would love to see Thatcher MJF2 down the line. And yeah, this whole Dynamite was fun overall. Timothy Thatcher, wala man lang nag-care sa kanya. Fair but sad. But on TV, I'm glad that the commentary explained how Timothy Thatcher is big in the United Kingdom before, and then on Japan on his promotion in Project Noah. Noah, Pro Wrestling Noah. Yeah, they explained it really well. Thanks to our trio there, Excalibur, Tony Shaban, Taz. They explained the whole damn thing, and it's so nice to see Timothy Thatcher on TV sa EW TV after he got released from WWE. Okay, so let's talk about the progress now on the homegrown and WWE girls now on the women's side. Okay, so medyo lumilinaw na lumilinaw na sa TV that they're leaning for a homegrown versus former WWE girls composed of Saraya, Tony Storm, soon to be Ruby Soho, maybe Athena pa nga. May possible na pa nga. But yeah, hindi natin pipisilin si Athena. And marami pa tayong pwedeng magkita in couple of weeks. Marami tayong pwedeng mangyayari in couple of weeks. Maybe parang paagahin nila yung maybe after ng revolution, they will book that advance. At some point, mangyayari. And yeah, that will be great. Personally, that will be great for the women naman ang mag-focus doon sa kanilang blood and guts. And yeah, the main event. So, Samoa Joe defeated Darby Allin to win back in the title. So, technically, he's now the king of television once again. And Wardlow made his return on TV and AEW. So, yeah. Yeah. I don't like how they're building Wardlow, but I hope this would be the start of their rebuild towards Wardlow, right? Then, yeah, yun lang naman. If ang goal nito is para lang ma-rebuild si Wardlow, then that will be great for me. Ito, takaw pa natin. So, MJF versus Takeshita. Konosuke Takeshita is set for next week's Dynamite with a eliminator thing going on. Yun, 'di ba may AEW title eliminator thing sa AEW, 'di ba? You know naman what's up on AEW. So yeah, that will be great for next week on next week's Dynamite. Then ano pa ba? So let's talk about news now. News outside of WWE and AEW. So, Kota Ibushi is now free agent in New Japan after he left New Japan. And night after that, almost hours after that, GCW announced that Kota Ibushi will made his GCW debut at the ano nga tawag dito, yung Blood Fest something. Bloodsport. Oh, Bloodsport. He will make his debut at Bloodsport against Mike Bailey. Man, that would be great. Lalo na cheap lang ang ang Fight Plus. Man, I want to watch this shit live on Fight Plus. I swear to God, I want to watch this on Fight Plus. I cannot wait to see this on Fight Plus. Then, so may rumors ngayon that si Risen, the Japanese promotion over in Japan, they are booking something not that interesting. Kota Ibushi versus the boxing legend Manny Pacquiao. And hindi pa matukoy kung ito ba yung boxing match or this is a wrestling match Wala pang details about that, but they're planning to book that shit within this year. Interesting? Simple as that. Hindi ako interested. Hindi ako interested. So, yeah, that will be great on paper, on the prime of Pacquiao, but however, that's not interesting. Okay, so that's pretty much it for our second half of the podcast. We will talk about third half, talking about the NXT and the NXT Vengeance Day on our third half of the show. But first, let's check our bunkmates here on Bunk Collective.
Bakit mabaho ang utot?
Lulubog na ba ang Pilipinas?
Mahihain ba ang makahiya? Bakit bumabagyo sa Pinas?
Mga katanungang bumabagabag sa kaisipan ni Juan, halika, bigyan natin ng mga scientificong kasagutan. Ito ang inyong gurong lakan mula sa Bulacan, Sir Red. At ito ang Hainayan na Tagham The Podcast Year 2. Pakinggan sa lahat ng major podcast streaming platforms. Tara, matuto, magsaliksik, magkaroon ng dagdag na kaalaman. Hainayan, magpakailanman.
Sales, profit, and engagement na naman ang usapan. Hey guys, Matt and Lance here. Corporate guys rin kami at pagod na rin kami sa ganyang usapang office. Ibahin naman natin ang mga kausap natin. Listen to guests from careers beyond the corporate scene with the Project Offbeat Career Podcast. Imagine talking to historians, gamers, teachers, and the like on how they live differently and succeed in their unconventional careers. Baka sakali, ito naman ang sign to pursue your passions. Kita-kits sa Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube.
This is better now. Okay, so welcome back to the podcast. So I had to reevaluate my thoughts on NXT kasi na-record ko ulit yung portion na yun. Sabi ko, papanoorin ko muna bago ko husgahan yung NXT na yun. So yeah, ito na ang ating thoughts for our NXT coverage. Okay, so we have Indus versus the Creed brothers. I'm impressed with the formation of the tag or the stable here between Jinder tsaka yung Indus as a stable. Yeah, it's impressive to see Jinder in NXT. Nakita naman natin siya nung New Year's Evil. He made this NXT return. And at the same time, parang I'm glad na they're building something big. Not only for beer, na alam niyo naman kung ano yung impression sa kanya. Yung pa-teaser pa nila. Tapos nung nakabalik si Triple H, ayun, nasa NXT na ulit siya. Creeds naman, in the other hand, I'm good. Hindi naman masama matalo ang Creeds. They're still lining up or they're still leaning on Creeds when it comes to moments. And still a big moment, still a good moment, or still a good match for this week's NXT. Then, we have some notable matches for this week's NXT. We have Indy Hartwell and Zoe Stark match. Tsaka yung kina Dijak at tsaka kay Von Wagner. Both of these matches make sense. Lalo't parating na yung NXT Vengeance Day. So, I'm glad that Zoe is getting improved on her gimmick. Kasi sobrang mid yung gimmick niya before. Nakikita nyo naman, or naririnig nyo naman dito sa podcast kung paano ko i-criticize yung gimmick ni Zoe Stark. So, it's so nice to see her improving that gimmick. Si Von Wagner naman, walang bago sa kanya. He's still mid. At least he's improving, to be fair. Yeah. We have over here Axiom versus Tyler Bate. Nasanay kasi ako sa A-Kid. So, yeah. Axiom, Tyler Bate. So, kung natatandaan nyo, naglaban sila dati and that was a really good match. I think, nirate ko rin siya sa podcast before. That was a really good match. Medyo ilang pa rin ako medyo naiilang pa din ako sa Axiom name. But, yeah, mag-grow siya sa akin slowly. Si Stevie Turner, itong bago nilang superstar. Ewan ko, parang hindi to mag-sink in sa akin. Parang wala. Wala. Ang pangit ng execution ng debut niya. It's just me. I don't know with all of you guys. Yung kay Stevie Turner o Steve Turner, whatever that is. Ang pangit ng pag-sink in sa akin ng gimmick niya to. I hope na ma-enhance yung pag-execute ito. Yeah. Then, so we have a New Day Invitational with the winner will be inserted to the four-way triple threat nga dapat ito. For the main event of Vengeance Day, main event tuloy, hindi pala. Basta yung four-way. So, there's Chase U, then the Dyad, and Malik Blade, and Edris Enofe. They won the triple threat invitational match. And yung match sa Vengeance Day this Sunday is now our four-way. Speaking of Vengeance Day, let's talk about it now on my predictions for this year's Vengeance Day. So, info lang guys, this pay-per-view premium live event is not available on our Disney Plus. Our next event on Disney Plus will be the WWE Elimination Chamber. I wish this event has a commentary, Tagalog commentary now. Sana. Fingers crossed. So, ayun. Unfortunately, we are going to watch Vengeance Day on Watch Wrestling. Yun na lang. Ayun, available on Peacock in the United States. Also available on Sony Sports Network if you're from India. And elsewhere, WWE Network. Kung kayo ay may WWE Network pa. I think Binge will show this PLE as well on their WWE Network. Yeah. So let's predict the card now. Let's do the preview. Okay. First match of the card is the 2 out of 3 falls match between Apollo Crews and Carmelo Hayes. Okay, I'm impressed with both of them. Carmelo is ready for main roster. Apollo still has to prove himself ba't siya bumalik ng NXT. So, may tag of war ako dito. So, maybe I'm gonna go with Apollo. Maybe it's Apollo win. Pero si Melo kasi, wala na siya dapat patunayan. Is ready for the main roster promotion na. And, yeah, more grind for Mr. Carmelo Hayes. And siya yung pinaka-impressive when it comes to executing ng gimmicks sa NXT batch nila. So, Carmelo in main roster will be great if this year mapopromote din siya after WrestleMania. Then, so it's a tag team match between the champions Katana Chance and Kaden Carter versus the unlikely duo of Fallon Henley and Kiana James for the NXT tag team titles in the women's. So, yeah, it's very obvious that based on this week's NXT, medyo cliff pa yung tag team nila. Medyo may, tawag dito? Medyo may diferensya pa yung partnership nila. Pero eventually, magkakasundo din naman yan. Pero nakikita ko kasi it's a split between Briggs and Jensen na sinasabi ko na in weeks after weeks after weeks. And then, so eventually, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter will win this match. Okay. So, it's a triple threat. Okay. Triple threat muna. Roxanne Perez defending the NXT Women's Championship against Gigi Dolin and JC Jane of Toxic Attraction. Again, no hard feelings about this feud. I'm ready for Toxic Attraction on the main roster. Yep, Toxic Attraction in the main roster. I'm ready with this. So I'm gonna pick Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's title. Speaking of tag teams, singit ko lang. So, Alba Fire and sino nga to putang na to? Island Dawn is now a tag team. So, good. So, good to me. Then, Wesley versus Dijak for the NXT North American Championship. It's very obvious. It's time for Dijak to get some titles. So, I think this is the perfect time for Dijak to become champion at least. So, Dijak, is my prediction for the North American title. Then, it's a four-way now. So, New Day defending the tag titles against Gallows, Pretty Deadly, and Chase U in a fatal four-way match. Man, if there's a elimination stipulation on this, that would be great. That would be better for this NXT title match in my opinion. So, ito, ang pipick ko na lang dito is siguro I'm gonna go with it's either Gallows or Chase U. Pero naglilin ako towards Chase U. Chase U is really over with the crowd. And man, I would love to see Chase U holding the belts kahit hindi gaano kahabaan. Pero yeah, Chase U. Then, main event of the NXT Vengeance Day. It's a steel cage match for the NXT Championship. It's Braun Breaker, Grayson Waller. What a preview that we just witnessed on this week's NXT. I really love how they are pulling the strings on this matchup. Medyo exciting siya kasi Grayson Waller is a fucking asshole. The gimmick is working and I love myself getting worked with Grayson Waller. So yeah, I would love to see Grayson Waller winning the title. But I don't think Grayson Waller will win the title. So I'm gonna go with Braun Breaker retaining the title. It's very obvious. So yeah, let me know your predictions for NXT Vengeance Day. Will be televised this Sunday. Disney Plus, Philippines, Indonesia, baka naman magpagalaw kayo ng baso. Ano? So this event will be televised on the WWE Network. If you're outside of the Philippines and Indonesia, also available on Peacock in the US, and ano pa ba? WWE Network elsewhere, and on Sony Sports Network in India. For the meantime, let me know your predictions on NXT Vengeance Day, all of your thoughts on NXT, and of course the Royal Rumble Premium Live event. My thoughts is on Patreon, patreon.com/the MTG Show Pod. Before we left the show this week, let's reveal our picks of the week last week on the Royal Rumble pick. So, ito, may superstar of the week is actually Gunter kasi mas umangat si Gunter dito. Sana nga nasa easy siya hindi si Theory. Again, take ko lang yon. Then, Rhea Ripley, our woman of the week. What an amazing run for Rhea Ripley on the Royal Rumble, basically. What a run for Rhea Ripley. Our match of the week is the Royal Rumble on the women's side. Yeah, sinabi ko na kanina why I picked this match. This match is just amazing. Hindi man kagandahan, sobra. Pero I think hindi ito naka-disappoint sa akin as a whole, no? But yeah, this match really, really good. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this week's podcast on our social media platforms at the MTG Show Pod. So we're out of here. Follow the podcast on all of the socials at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and on YouTube. Same username at the MTG Show Pod. Don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/at the MTG Show Pod. You can now donate and support the podcast on Gank and Patreon for our discussions. You can join our Patreon program as low as $1 a month. You can access our subscriber-only content on the Patreon and Gank. Plus, you can join our discussions and more to come, of course. May niluluto pa akong merch. Gusto ko sana i-introduce yung merch really soon. Pero i-consult ko muna ang bank about the merch. So, siguro saka na, pag may pagkakataon, i-consult ko din sila about the merch. Ayun, for more podcast, visit our network, thebunkph.com. You can support us on all of the socials at thebunkph, same username. Join our Discord for Bonk. Ayun, so dsc.gg/bonk. And our Discord server, the podcast Discord server, is on the description as well. You can join over there for our discussions. Andun din yung mga Patreons natin. You can join our discussion. And for our patrons, may perks tayo doon. So, ating Discord community. So, you can join our Discord as well. So, the podcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Deezer, and the rest of the podcast platforms. And on the podcast app, you can rate the podcast 5 stars, 6 in Tokyo Dome. All of the links, of course, is on our linktr, linktr.ee/the MTG Show Podcast, Twitter, Instagram, AG Pinera. And please support our MWF and FPW on their respective shows. Please check their respective Facebook pages for the upcoming shows. February 19, I think it's on the FPW side. Then March, April 30 is their next show sa Power Mac and Makati. So you can support them by watching all of the shows, by watching both of the promotions, and you can support us as a wrestling community. So, we're get the fuck out of here. This has been episode number 147 in cooperation of Bang Collective. Of course, we give a shout outs to Yuki, our producer here on the show. Then BP, si Bern, and the rest of the whole Bang Collective. Thank you for supporting this podcast. By the way, just a plug, pakinggan nyo yung episode namin nila Slick together with Kyle, Martin of the K-Pop Cafe before, and the rest of us on the Bang Collective, and si JM, ano mang affiliation niya, di ko alam. Si Ivan, Dugout, yung pakinggan nyo sa This Drunken Midnights. Please listen to the episode when we reviewed the Royal Rumble. And ayun. So, yun na lang. See you on the next episode. Stay safe. Stay wrestle. See you on the next episode where we're reviewing the NXT Vengeance Day. We're out. Bye-bye. Screw.